Hello, my name is Shanice Sanders, and my group discussion assignment is on Does SeaWorld treat their animals bad? Do you remember being younger and going to SeaWorld to see all the animals? You were excited to be so close to the killer whales, dolphins, and sea lions. As thrilling as may be, do animals like their new habitat? They're not able to swim, play, climb, or roam freely, unlike in the wild. Do they like to be cramped in an enclosure, locked inside a small swimming pool with strangers looking at them all day? Although not all aquariums and zoos are bad, for example, wildlife sanctuaries for injured animals, animals that have been abandoned by their parents, that have lovable zookeepers looking after them, it's very clear that SeaWorld is a human-centered attraction, with the core for the animals being a secondary concern, because humans are there for entertainment and wildlife enlightenment. The best things for these animals is to study them and show them respect by giving them natural space. SeaWorld has done a lot of scandalous things in past years. When the company was beginning to start their orca shows, their most popular killer whale, Shamu, was captured in the wild when her mother was killed with a harpoon. During a show, Shamu refused to let go of SeaWorld's secretary, Annette Ake's leg. Shamu's jaw had to be freed with a pole, and Annette required stitches to close the wound. SeaWorld has been accused of treating their animals cruel. SeaWorld claims to provide world-class care, but been known to have killer whales living in swimming pools compared to bathtubs for them. Killer whales aren't meant to be in captivity. The orca shows sign of stress by grinding their teeth on tanks, spending their time floating in the sun, getting sunburns, and having them hidden by black zinc, and their dorsal fins appear to collapse. Naomi Rose, a marine mammal scientist at the Animal Welfare Institution, states, "You put orcas in a box that is 150 feet long by 90 feet wide by 30 feet depth and basically turn them into a couch potato. They live very short lives in captivity. In the wild, they have lifespans of 80 years old, and in aquariums, they live up to 25 years. Keeping orcas in small pools when they're used to swimming 1,000 miles a day drives these animals mad, resulting in psychological trauma. The killer whales would have to do tricks for their food and would have to be drugged up. The stress of living in captivity turned them into killing machines and aggressive. In the wild, there have never been a recording of killer whales attacking humans. One of SeaWorld's killer whales, Tilikum, was involved with 3 killings. He was also a killer whale that was captured from the wild and taken away from his home. He was overwhelmed, doing 8 shows a day, 7 days a week, and being attacked by 2 dominant female orcas. During the Dine with Shamu show, Dawn was at the edge of the pool when Tilikum pulled her in the water by her ponytail. He quickly dragged her under the water and drowned her. SeaWorld fought to make her death look like an accident instead of an attack. Now, by law, SeaWorld's trainers only interact behind a barrier. Furthermore, killer whales not only show aggression to their trainers, it also shows hostility to other killer whales. In the wild, they show tight bonds within their family. If they come across strangers, they start fighting each other. In captivity, are forced to live in tight quarters together. They can't escape conflict with other orcas, causing social disruption. However, orcas living completely alone is not good for these animals. When orcas are captured at a young age and separated from their mother, when they're transferred to different facilities, it isn't healthy for the babies. Main problem I've seen SeaWorld have is the orcas are seen for entertainment than an education aspect. These animals have been deprived of their natural habitat, and in the media, the staff seems concerned with the needs and desires of the visitors, not the needs of the animals. These animals are on public display and used for human amusement. in ocean in one ocean shows, our killer whales do tricks they are taught to learn. These are natural abilities and behaviors for the animals. First thing we should do is continue funding the new improved Orca Encounter program. The guests will continue to see orcas, whales, and the ocean's ecosystem and how they behave in the wild. Because we can't shift away Shamu as SeaWorld's identity, we need a strategic way to show the public a more educational approach. Stop having the orcas do flips, tail waves, and dances for their food. Give the orcas a more varied diet. Stop feeding them frozen fish and vitamin supplements. Show the audience why killer whales are so smart and how they're apex predators. Give them live bait and let the killer whales catch their food by themselves. Also show how dolphin acts in the wild to showcase to the audience how dolphins and killer whales hunting abilities are the same. Present that we do care about the well-being of our animals and how we put in the work and the effort to let people know how beautiful these animals are. First thing we need to do is acknowledge how the killer whales are being handled after ending the breeding program. These killer whales in our care will be the last generation. Tell the press and the news how we reimagine and encourage other aquariums that have orca shows like Sealand of the Pacific and Marineland to go in the same direction as us. Have the breeding program and globally. I also propose we build a facility where the sea pen can be close to the ocean. Director PETA Mimi Beklik states SeaWorld must open its tanks to the ocean to allow the orcas it's now hold captive to have some semblance of a life outside these prison tanks. We can still monitor their behavior and care for these creatures while they feel and experience the sea and possibly interact with killer whales in the ocean. Another thing we can do is work with the whale sanctuary program. We never had a case where we successfully rehabilitated a killer whale and returned it to the ocean. There's one way to change the image of SeaWorld is if we ask National Marine Fisheries Services to add killer whales to the sick and injured animals that needs rescue list. The killer whales that have been born in our facility are poor candidates to be released in the wild. Sending them in the wild is a death sentence because they have no experiences in it. They will be alone and have no family to return to. It's better if we have a success story of rescuing an orca because giving them the right medication, they already know how to catch their food, and we can help them gain their experience with survival back. In conclusion, in the past, SeaWorld has had controversy of poor conditions for their animals. They were taken from their natural habitat all around the world and live with depression and atrophy. What we can do now is learn from those mistakes and make these animals more comfortable. They are intelligent creatures and should be treated with appreciation. Thank you.